Well, hello and welcome to Hamilton Homestead. This is Adrienne. Let's dehydrate some eggs. Dehydrated eggs are great for long-term storage or camping or just having eggs on hand when fresh ones aren't available. Okay, first thing I do is set up my dehydrator in the location that it will run. It can't be moved after it's filled with the blended eggs, so it's important to place it where you plan on running it. In my case, this is the work area I have in my garage. I use silicone mats and I have a few fruit leather trays I'll also use, and I can get about 6 blended eggs on each mat. So back in the kitchen, I use my magic bullet and blend 6 eggs at a time. Of course, any blender will work and you could mix them by hand. I want the eggs blended, but not frothy. If they get too frothy, I can only fit 5 eggs per tray, so I'm careful to blend for just a minute or two. My dehydrator is a Nesco, and I have 2 of them, and I've had them for about 10 years and only had to replace a fuse in each, but I use them a lot, and they've served me very well. Ultimately, of course, I'd like to get a freeze dryer and use Mylar bags for even longer term food preservation, but for now, I use what I have and I make the most of it. I'm showing you my process and how easy it is to dehydrate eggs, but please do your own research to understand best practices and figure out what works best for you. Okay, now after all the trays are full, it's time to start the dehydrator. It's important to set the heat level no higher than 140 degrees because we don't want to cook the eggs. We only want to pull all of the moisture out. I err on the side of caution and set the temperature at 135 degrees. How long will it take? Very good question, and the answer is, it depends. It depends on the thickness of the blended eggs in the tray, the number of trays in the dehydrator, the temperature of your dehydrator, and the temperature and humidity of the room your dehydrator is in. It always takes longer for me because I really load up the dehydrator with trays. I use a slightly lower temperature, and my dehydrator is in a cooler location. In this case, it took 19 hours for the initial dry time. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and let us know where you're watching from. Subscribing helps us grow, but if you're not ready to commit, likes and comments go a long ways, so thank you. When the eggs are completely dry, they take on a golden, glistening look and have a crispy feel to them. If they're brownish, dull, tacky or sticky, or have a rubbery feel, they're not dry and you need to give them more time. Once dry, I remove the egg from the trays and use the magic bullet to powder the eggs. Now, to ensure all the moisture is removed, I return them to the silicone mat, spread them in an even layer, about 3/8 of an inch thick, and dehydrate them for another 1 to 2 hours at 140 degrees. Then I let them cool to room temperature on the mats. And now they are ready to package for the pantry. I use glass canning jars with an oxygen absorber and my vacuum packaging jar attachment to remove the air from the jars. Labeling is important, of course, as I plan on using these dehydrated eggs within 18 months. So I'll be dehydrating more as I use product from my pantry. Once I get that freeze dryer, I'll be able to store eggs for up to 25 years. Now, I've read online and seen on YouTube where people are very comfortable storing dehydrated eggs like the ones I'm doing right now for a much longer period than I do. But for now, this is my practice. Now, how do I use them? Mostly for baking and scrambled eggs. Let me know in the comments your favorite way to use dehydrated eggs. Now, what we've all been waiting for. How are these eggs going to taste? I'll scramble 2 farm fresh eggs as a benchmark, then compare them to 2 dehydrated eggs rehydrated with water and milk. John will be the taste tester. Now all of the eggs will get a bit of salt, and the eggs will go into a moderately hot nonstick pan with melted butter. Once the eggs are added to the pan, I will reduce or turn off the burner and cook them without overstirring and give them enough time to soak up the butter but not overcook. I want each batch to be cooked or handled in approximately the same way, and a lower heat with minimal stirring produces the most tender and flavorful scrambled egg. And the verdict is in. For flavor and texture, the water hydrated and milk hydrated eggs were both very good. John thought the milk hydrated egg was slightly drier than the water hydrated egg, but he followed that comment with, seriously, there's not a lot of difference between the fresh eggs and the dehydrated eggs. They're all very good. A big win for food storage.
Seriously, there's not a lot of difference
Wow, that's good to hear.
between any of them.
Okay.
They're all very good eggs.
Thanks for joining me today. Bye now.